last episode, I showed you where to find 3D printing files, those classic STL, 3MF, and OBJ files. But now comes a really important question. Okay, I downloaded a 3D file. Now what? Can I just send this file straight to the printer? And the answer is not exactly. Before anything comes out of the printer, that file has to go through a program called a slicer. And this is where a lot of beginners get stuck. Because the first time you open a slicer, you see a ton of settings. Layer height, infill, walls, supports, brim, speed, temperature, material, first layer, and it feels like you need to understand all of it before you can print anything. But don't worry, you don't need to master the entire slicer to get started. In this episode, I'm going to show you the most important slicer settings for beginners. The ones that actually make a difference for print quality, using less filaments and having fewer failed prints. And this applies to Bambu Studio, Orca Slicer, Creality Print, Cura, PrusaSlicer, and many other slicers. The interface changes, but the logic is very similar. First, let's understand what the slicer actually does. A 3D file is the digital design of the piece, but the printer doesn't understand that design directly. It needs instructions. So the slicer takes the 3D model and converts into a file that tells the printer exactly what movements to make. It decides where the nozzle will travel, what temperature to use, how fast to print, how many layers the piece will have, whether it needs supports, how much infill it will have inside, and how much material will be used. In other words, the slicer is the program that turns a 3D model into instructions for the printer. Step number 1. The first thing you need to check is one of the simplest: the correct printer profile. It sounds obvious, but this mistake happens all the time. If you select the wrong printer, the slicer may use the wrong build volume, wrong speeds, wrong nozzle settings, and your failure rate becomes almost 100%. So, before anything else, check 3 things: the printer profile, your nozzle size, and the material you're using. For most beginners, the most common setup is a 0.4 millimeters nozzle and PLA filament. And here's an important tip: don't try to guess everything in the beginning. Use the slicer's built-in profiles. If you are using PLA, choose PLA. If you are using PETG, choose PETG. If you are using ABS, choose ABS. Because the slicer automatically adjusts a bunch of things, like temperature, cooling, and speed. That doesn't mean you never tweak it, but at the start, filament profiles are your best friend. Now let's get into the most important settings: layer height. Layer height defines how thick each printed layer is. Remember how the printer builds the piece layer by layer? This setting determines those layers are thinner or thicker. Thinner layers equals better surface finish, less visible lines, but slower prints. Thicker layers equals faster prints, but more visible layers. For beginners, a super common starting point is 0.2 millimeters. It's the perfect middle ground. Decent quality, decent speed, works for a lot of prints. So if you don't know what to pick, start with 0.2. Once a better finish, try 0.16 or 0.12. Want it faster, 0.24 or 0.28, depending on your printer and nozzle. But for beginners, remember this: 0.2 millimeter is the default of 3D printing. It works for a lot of stuff. Next setting: walls. In slicers, you might see this as perimeters, wall loops, or wall count. Walls are the outer shell of the print, basically the skin of the object. The more walls you have, the stronger the sides of the print usually become. And here's a very common beginner mistake. A lot of people think making a print stronger means just increasing infill, but not always. In many cases, increasing wall count gives you a much stronger print more efficiently than just adding a ton of infill. For decorative prints, 3 walls can be enough. For simple, functional prints, 4 walls is a great starting point. For prints that take real stress or weight, you may need more walls. And also think about print orientation. So remember, strength in 3D printing is not just infill. Walls and orientation matter a lot too. Now let's talk about the famous one, infill. Infill is the internal structure of the print because most 3D prints are not fully solid. They have an outer shell and a structure inside. That structure saves material, reduces print time, and still keeps the print strong enough for most uses. Lower infill equals lighter, faster, less filament. Higher infill equals potentially stronger but slower and more material. For beginners, a common range is 10 to 20%. The core prints 10 to 15%. Simple functional prints 15 to 20%. And you usually only need to go above that for very specific cases. Most of the time, it just wastes filament and dramatically increases print time. Top and bottom layers. These are what close the print on the top and bottom. If you don't have enough top layers, you can get holes, weak top surface, or infill showing through. To start, you can stick with the slicer default. But if you notice your top surface looks weak or incomplete, try increasing the top layer. Simple way to remember, walls equals the sides. Infill equals the inside. Top and bottom layers, the caps that close the print. Now a setting almost every beginner runs into early: supports. Supports are temporary structures the printer builds to hold up pieces that would otherwise print in mid-air. Because a 3D printer can't print onto nothing, it needs something underneath. Think about the letter T. The bottom prints easily, but the top bar, if it's too far out, may need support. When the print is done, you remove the supports. But supports also have downsides. More material, longer print time, and support marks on the print. So the goal isn't enable supports on everything. It's use supports when you actually need them. Auto supports help a lot at the beginning, but always check the preview before printing, because sometimes the slicer adds too much support, and sometimes you can fix the whole problem just by changing the print's orientation. I will leave a link in the description to a complete support video we made where we go way deeper. And that brings us to one of the most important parts of slicing: print orientation on the build plates. Orientation changes everything: quality, strength, print time, supports, and whether the print succeeds at all. If you place a piece with a tiny footprint touching the bed, detach mid-print. But if you rotate it and give it a bigger base on the bed, it becomes much more stable. Before your print, ask yourself, is this piece well supported? Are there a lot of in-air sections? Will it need a ton of support? Does this orientation make sense for the strength I need? You won't get it perfectly every time at the beginning, and that's fine. But just paying attention to this proves your results. If your print is coming loose from the bed, the first step is clean the bed. Why? Because the bed can collect dust, dirt, fingerprints, and skin oils. So clean the bed first. But if that still doesn't solve it, there's a setting that can help a lot: Brim. A Brim creates a thin outer line around the parts to increase bed contact area. It helps especially with small, tall, thin parts, or anything with a small footprint. But you don't need Brim on everything. Simple rule: small, tall piece or detaching, try Brim. Big piece with a solid base and good adhesion, you probably don't need it. Now let's talk about speed. A lot of people want to print everything as fast as possible, especially because modern printers are really fast. But here's the honest advice: First, learn how to print well, then print fast. Speed affects surface finish, vibration, small details, and even first layer adhesion. So if you are a beginner, start with the slicer high quality preset and just change layer height to 0.2 millimeter, because that profile already uses safer, slower speeds. That's the best starting point. Not the fastest, but the most balanced. And as a beginner, balance is exactly what you want. Before you hit print, there's one step people skip all the time. Check the preview. After you slice, the slicer shows you how the print will actually happen. Don't just click slice and send it. Look at the preview. Check the layers, check the supports, look for missing walls, check estimated time and filament usage. See if anything looks weird. The preview is basically a print preview, and it often shows problem before you waste filament. If a wall disappears in preview, it probably won't show up in the printer. If something is floating in mid-air, it will probably fail. If there's way too much support, the orientation might need to change. So build this habit. Before you print, always check the slicer preview. Quick tip, start with good files. Before we continue, here's a tip to help you start with good models. If you're learning 3D printing and you don't want to waste time with broken meshes, badly designed files, or models that were never made to print well, STLFLIX can help a lot. STLFLIX is a subscription library with print-ready 3D models, weekly drops, and files designed to print better. And if you're thinking about selling prints, STLFLIX also includes a commercial license on the commercial plan, so you can practice with quality models and have more peace of mind if you turn it into a product. I will leave the link in the description so you can check out STLFLIX and start with models built for 3D printing. Back to the slicer. Here's something I think is extremely important. Don't change 20 settings at the same time. It's a super common beginner mistake. People change layer height, speed, supports, temperature, coolant, infill, walls, Brim. Then the print fails, and they have no idea what caused it. In the beginning, use the default profiles, change one thing at a time, and observe the result. 3D printing is a lot of testing, but good testing is when you know what's changed. Simple recap. If I had to summarize beginner slicer settings, it would be: first, choose the correct printer, then choose the correct filament profile, start with a standard layer height like 0.2 millimeter, increase walls for more strength, use 10 to 20% infill for most prints, enable supports only when needed, think about orientation, use Brim if the print is detaching. Start with standard speed and always check preview before printing. It feels like a lot at first, but here's how simple it actually becomes. Want better surface finish? Layer height. Want more strength? Walls, infill, and orientation. Have parts in the air? Supports. Print detaching? Clean the bed? Use Brim? Improve contact. And always spend a minute checking preview. That alone puts you ahead of most beginners. You don't need to master every slicer setting on day one. You just need to understand enough to make better decisions. And that's when 3D printing becomes way more fun, because you stop just pressing buttons and start understanding what you're doing. In the next episode, we are staying inside the slice, but focusing on something a lot of people see and don't really understand: the slicer toolbar. That row of icons at the top of the program, that's where a lot of powerful tools live to help you prepare a model before printing. We are going to cover tools like move, rotate, scale, place on bed, cut the model, add text, measure, paint supports, paint seams, and even modifiers, so you can change settings only in specific areas of the print. Because sometimes the secret to a successful print isn't just your global settings, it's knowing how to use these tools to prepare the model correctly. Sometimes you just need to rotate the piece, sometimes you need to cut it, sometimes you need to paint supports only in one area. Sometimes you need to change settings for just one region without affecting the whole model, and these tools are exactly what make that possible. So in the next episode, I will show you what the main buttons in that toolbar do and how they can make your workflow way easier. If this video helped you, leave a like, subscribe and comment which slicer you use. Bambu Studio, Orca Slicer, Cura, Creality Print or something else. I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye!